Hello everyone, I am Devon here. We are going to have a nice little chit chat about one of my athletes and get a nice little consult, make a plan, and go from there. Alright, so I have an athlete who has shoulder pain.
Okay.
Came to me like when I first got here and she was like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, I'm starting to get some shoulder pain, like, just whatever. So I do an eval and it screams bicep tendonitis, like right in the bicipital groove, and I'm like, oh, all right, I got this, cured in like 3 weeks, perfect. So first of all, she's not very compliant. So at the beginning, she was not very compliant. Mm-hmm. So like she'd kind of come in and then kind of not, and then kind of come in and then kind of not, and I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. And then we start kind of picking up with fall ball, and she starts coming in every single day, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay.
So then she's like gets awesome and like is doing all this rehab, and I'm like, wow, yeah, awesome, let's do this. And then pain just kind of comes and goes, and it kind of just comes into like a day by day. Like some days it's like, yeah, no pain, great, and then other days it's like, oh, I threw today. Not so good. So I'm kind of just lost right now. Mm-hmm. I did a re-eval and kind of the same thing. Very bicipital groove is where her primary pain is. She's like, it hurts right here. Occasionally she'll kind of give me something that might say like a weak serratus anterior. Supraspinatus. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. But I mean, nothing that like screams out a lot at me. So I mean, season comes and we're doing rehab, and then March she's like, oh, I feel really good, doesn't come in anymore. I'm like, oh, all right, great, did my job, done. And then the end of the season, like, we're done, and then probably about 3 weeks ago now, she's like, hey Shannon, my arm's starting to be like be sore and like be painful again. Can we start rehab back up again? I was like, yeah, of course. So we're starting to rehab back up again, and I'm just afraid that we're kind of going to go through the same roller coaster of like good and bad, and then like, yeah. I mean, what do you think I should do?
What are you doing rehab wise? Like what's her
right now? Everything I have right now is scapular stabilization, along with some anterior strengthening, posterior strengthening, literally just shoulder strengthening, along with a lot of neuromuscular. I'm doing my thesis right now on like a bunch of unstable, like,
so you got
proprioceptive.
Perfect candidate right here.
Only I can't use her. But yeah, so I do a lot with her. I'm not very traditional in like internal, external. Like I really try not to use TheraBands. The only time I ever do is if I'm doing a D1, D2 pattern.
Okay. Why do you not like the TheraBands? Just because you don't get enough resistance out of them? Or?
Yeah, I feel like I'm not getting enough resistance. I feel like I just feel like I'm not doing the best that I can do. I feel like I can produce a lot better exercises than sticking you on a TheraBand and hoping that you're applying yourself to the best.
Gotcha. Have you tried like just like changing up, like, you know, with eyes wise tees? Like, have you done those?
I do tees. I don't exactly do eyes because it activates the upper trap a little bit too much for my liking.
Okay.
Same with Y's. You do get a lot of upper trap with that. Not a huge IYT fan. I do the T's though, just to, you know, get those low to mid trap. I'll try to do some low rows.
Gotcha.
I don't know, but she's like, I do everything shoulder wise, like
that you're
supposed to, and it just comes and goes. I will say this though, the other day I did cupping, like the myofascial decompression, right on the anterior like side of her shoulder, really got on top of that bicipital groove and biceps tendon, and like she's like, hey, I threw today and I had no pain at all. Like I completely forgot that my shoulder even hurt, and I was like, yeah, like that's awesome. So I was like kind of startled by that because for the longest time I've just been doing Grafton.
Yeah.
I've always done Grafton for so long, and then we got trained in cupping last semester in February.
Okay.
I was like, okay. And then I never used it. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. She said she never wanted it. And I was like, patient values, okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's like, because she saw the big red circles on people, and she's like, I do not want that. No. And so, like, and I'd always try to convince her, I'm like, come on, it's really good for you. And she's like, no, Shane, like, please don't make me. And I'm like, all right, not going to force you. And then the other day, I was like, hey, like, I want to cup you. And she was like, all right, fine. And I did it, and that was the day that she was like, this feels awesome. So,
I mean, that might be something to stick with as part of a regimen, like that you do maybe like once a week or something. Because I wouldn't want you to
like, I know depend on that.
Yeah, I've got kids who, before I got there, they were scraped every single day. Yeah. And now they need to be scraped every single day. I'm like, no, you can roll out. We can do other things. Like, we don't have to scrape. And they're like, no, I want scrape. It's like, no.
I can't do that.
Like, I can't scrape you every day. So, I mean, it's great that you found something that gives her some kind of relief. Maybe you can now combine it with something.
Yeah.
Like, having done the cupping, maybe combine it with, like, heat and, like, maybe stretch or something. Like, something to just play along with it before you send her out. Like, that might be something to consider.
Yeah. Doing something, like, right before she does a workout or something.
Yeah. And then, have you tried? Do you think it's like some kind of tendinopathy, or do you think it's just kind of sore? Like,
see, and that's what I'm not quite sure, because at first I was like, might be some tendinopathy, and then she was fine for literally March, April, May, like almost 3.5 months. She had no complaint, didn't come to. So I'm like, well. Like, because that's the middle of our season. Like, you know, we were in season from February to beginning of June. So it's like, you were in the middle, like the heart of our season, and you didn't have any pain. She did in the very beginning in February. Didn't come and see me at all from March to. Some like that's what another part of me is like. How serious is this?
How much is she? If it is serious, how much is she hiding from you?
Right.
Or if it's not so serious, what is she playing up?
Exactly.
So, I wouldn't talk to the coach about the injury itself, but maybe talk to them or talk to like your strength coach or something and be like, how is she in workouts? Like, how is she as a person? Like, you know what I mean?
That's the other fun part too.
Oh.
So my coach is a little micromanagey. We don't use our strength facility because my coach doesn't really like the strength coach that was assigned to us, so he was like, nope, we're going to do our own thing. So we're a very independent team. So we don't do anything in the weight room, which is another weird thing.
Gotcha. Does it start bothering her after certain workouts? Like, do they do like their own like conditioning stuff and then it starts bothering her?
Only days where they do long toss, like the next day after long toss, she's like, I'm pretty sore, but I mean like everyone's sore after a long toss. But I don't know how much of it's like, is she sore because of long toss or is she sore because they did long toss and her shoulder hurts?
Yeah. I mean, I would even, if that's the case, I would just maybe talk to her and be like, listen, I get that you're sore. We all get sore from working out or something along those lines, but I need you to be upfront with me and tell me like, oh, I'm just sore because I'm sore, or I'm sore because my shoulder hurts. Like, that way, because a lot of the times I found that if you do that, they feel less threatened by the idea of us. Because it's not us as people they feel threatened by, it's the power that we have.
Yeah.
It's like, I swear they see us as the Grim Reaper. It's like, we don't want to pull you from play. We want you to keep playing. We want you to be healthy.
Yeah.
But we can't keep you healthy if you don't tell us what's wrong.
Exactly.
So I would maybe just have a talk with her and just see.
Where do you draw the line of we need to see a doctor?
if it's just, I try to do as much as I can in-house, but if after a while it's just not getting better, and by a while, I mean, like, if I go 2 to 3 weeks, and even if it's like a slight upward progression, you're getting better, it's like, okay, we don't need to see the doc. We do have some kind of improvement, but if you're just bottoming out or getting worse, it's like 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
It's like, we're pretty fortunate in the sense of when we're in season, we have a team doc that comes every single Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So if I've got someone who it's like, oh, it's been like a week and a half, I can be like, okay, let's go see ya.
Yeah.
Let's go see Doc. Doc will take a look at you.
Yeah.
Because we're lucky because our team doc is a DO with a lot of sports background.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I would say about 2 to 3 weeks if it's just not getting better.
Right. Because I'm at week 3 right now, and it's not like like I said, I don't say whenever it goes low. Like, it's either painful and great, or it's back to the same pain.
Yeah.
It never has gotten worse, which is a good thing.
Yes.
Like, it's never gotten progressively worse. It just gets better. You're like, yeah. And then it's like, oh, not so awesome. And then it gets better. So I guess I'm just wondering, like, is there any extra rehab or any treatment that you would do, whether it's manual therapy, exercise, anything additional like that? And then also, do you think that I should refer out?
In terms of additional, I've found I've had a lot of good results with like resistive stretching, like literally just have them resist against me and then stretch them back out. I've had a lot of success with that, as well as I do a lot of sound assisted scraping. So basically it's Graston, but just a different technique. Mm-hmm. I've had a lot of success with that. But if you're having results with cupping, I would stick with that. Like, I wouldn't do cupping and Graston. I think that's way too much on the tissue.
Yeah.
I would just keep trying to get creative with your Therex. Like, we had one at the clinic I worked at. It's the dumbest name ever. Called the Waggly Noodle, and it works core and shoulder at
Like
the
a body blade.
Kind of. You have them on all fours, and depending on how advanced they are, you put like a Dynadisc under their hand, an Eric's pad under their opposite elbow, or opposite knee.
Okay.
And then they extend their leg out as if you were doing just like a quad swim, but the arm that's out for the quad swim, you have a have like a TheraBand or a TheraBar, and you shake it for like 30 seconds. But that forces the shoulder to stabilize itself, and it forces the core also. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1. Mm-hmm. So I would just be creative. Yeah. And then also, I wouldn't be surprised if you're like, okay, well, we're going to go see the team doc. And just because one, it gives you a second opinion, and kind of you guys can talk and be like, oh, this is what I'm thinking, and you can bounce ideas off each other. If it's not serious and she's kind of just playing it up, it also might
it'll show
a little bit more.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
Here we go.
Here we go.